Hi, this is Kat Chancellor with Stamp Art Connection and StampArtConnection.com. This is the third project in my series using the Sweet Gingerbread stamp set and Gingerbread House dies. You will recognize these cards. I'll have links to going to these projects, but we're going to work on assembling the little treat boxes that can go very nicely with these little gingerbread houses. What you're going to need is you're going to start out with a piece of cardstock 7.5 by 3 3/4, and we're going to score on the long end at 1/2, 2 1/4, 4, 5 3/4, and then we're going to turn it on the short side and just score at 2 inches. Now the 2 inches side is going to be our top, the shorter side is going to be our bottom, and you can see then you're going to cut out that notch on the bottom, and then you're going to cut up to the score line, and then miter all the edges for all of the flaps except for one. The one that we don't miter is going to be the bottom of your card. Then go ahead and miter your tab, and then we can go ahead and put our treat box together. But I'm going to show you a variety of ways of embellishing them. For this one, I'm going to use some retired paper that came out of last year that was also under the gingerbread theme, and you're going to cut some squares. They're going to be about 1.5 by 2 7/8. And you're just going to cut 3 of those, and we're going to go ahead and paste them on each of the sides of our little treat boxes just to add a little bit more, I don't know, a little more fun with our embellishments. Now, I will tell you that this is a good idea if you're using just basic white cardstock, if you don't want to use your colored cardstock, or if you just have some fun DSP that you want to use to kind of decorate the outside of the boxes. And just use some multi-purpose glue and go ahead and you can put those on the inside of each one of your scored squares. Now, they don't have to go completely to the end, so these measurements don't go directly from the edge to the corner, but are good enough to kind of cover them up. Then go ahead and use your multi-purpose glue to cover the flaps, and then I'm just using some of my I call it fast fusion, but it's actually an instant fusion glue that will that adheres nicely, and it doesn't get tacky if some of the glue kind of seeps out of the seams, which is why I like it. I'm just kind of playing around with maybe putting something on the inside bottom of my box. Again, you can just have fun with this, and then you go ahead and adhere your gingerbread house, and I'm using that instant fusion glue. Now, for this particular gingerbread box, I went ahead and I embellished the outside using some of those elements that we've already cut, and I also am using the Snowfall Accents puff paint just to kind of give it a little bit of extra dimension on the bottom. Again, I'll show you some other ways that you can decorate your little gingerbread houses, but it makes a nice little effect. And if you use your puff paint and you apply it thinly, you can reapply and then use your heat gun to get that puff paint to puff up. Now, as I've stated in my other video, if you've watched it, do not do this on high. Do it on your low setting, and with a Stampin' Up! Heat gun, it will have a low setting. Now I'm going to add some embellishments, which are my pretty sparkly gumdrops that we did in my first video for my gingerbread house card. And we're just going to add a little bit of mini dimensionals and kind of put those on the front of our little house. And those look nicely Those look nice there. I'm just kind of looking at whether I want to add anything else, but I really don't think adding any other elements will really work. So there you go. It looks nice. Now you can just kind of put the candies in, and I'm going to show you that I do have what bags I recommend for this project. So here are the little treat boxes, and I know I mentioned it, I said cards a little bit earlier, but here's the little boxes that I just showed you how to assemble. And you can see I just used the DSP. This one I used, and here are the two that I put together, and this one has the little treat bag inside of it. And what I do when I give things away is I always put my Stamp Art Connection label on the bottom. So here's one that I made, only I used the colored DSP, which is fresh freesia, to go with this particular little treat box. And I just added the little candies on the bottom, whereas this one I added the puff paint. I just wanted to show you that if you get the puff paint up on the ink, it will bleed. So you don't want to do that. You want to be very careful when you apply your puff paint. So this is a version of the box that I did not use puff paint. I just used the two little gumdrops at the bottom. It does have the puff paint on the top, which is how I've assembled all the little gingerbread houses according to my first video. Here are two more that I put together. This one here. So I had four kind of in this theme. Then I kind of played a little bit with it, and here's another gingerbread house, but instead of the heart, I went ahead and I cut off the lollipop. Now, if you'll remember in those other videos, we stamped and kind of added the sparkle to all of these little elements, all these little candied elements. So I just cut off and I kind of trimmed that around, and that became the top of my gable there above my door for my little house. I used the same thing. I used the fresh freesia paper to cut out my box, but then I went ahead and I stamped all the way around the box, and I used my fence die here with basic white, and I applied some of the multi-purpose adhesive sheet. So once you die cut this, you just take off the back of the adhesive sheet, and this will apply very, very nicely to the side of your card. So there is the little lollipops I just added around, just stamped them very easily. And to kind of give the lollipops a little bit extra, you can kind of see that I did add a little bit of Wink of Stella. So here's another example. Now here's I made two of these, and you can see I got a little crazy, but I really like the way the lollipops kind of go. If you just kind of add them 3 at a time on each side, it goes nicely with the little box. Then this one, which is kind of our traditional gingerbread, again, I added one of the sweet sorbet little lollipop swirls, cut off the lollipop stick, and then went ahead and added it there. And I did the same thing on this treat box as well to embellish it. And then I have my little candy. And here's the final one. Now, let me tell you about what works for the bags. These are some retired 3x6 gusseted bags that I have in my crafting room. Again, use your retired products. And I do like when these come out, I do like to buy quite a few because, as you know, I have my project for the kids at the UNM Children's Hospital that I make little bag treats for the nurses to give out to the kids. So I always kind of have these on stock. But currently in the annual catalog, you can get the 6x8 cellophane bags. These are not gusseted, and I just want to show you that they do work nicely. Here's a 6x8 cellophane bag. I just put a couple of lollipops from Halloween in there, and then I just just kind of fold it in, stick it in, and then I added a nice bow that just kind of goes well with that. So that works nicely. If you happen to have the other size, that works nicely as well. But all of them work fine. It's a great project. They're not hard, and you can very easily put all of these together to come up with these cute little treat boxes. I really hope you enjoy my video. Thank you very much for joining me. Please like and share. This is the last in the series of the gingerbread boxes. I might come up with one more because I was thinking about, wouldn't this make a really cute Christmas ornament? So I might come up with one more. So always stay tuned. Please like, subscribe, and promote my channel by leaving a comment. I much appreciate it. This is Kat Chancellor with Stamp Art Connection and StampArtConnection.com. Happy stamping.